Welcome everybody of game 1 between DoD versus LFX versus Phoenix. I need to pause it for 2 seconds and then go, and hopefully that fixes all the issues. So on the top side we have SGO playing Poseidon. On the right side we have GrB playing Isis, and on the bottom side we have Crackhack playing Susano. On the other side we have Jack90 playing Uranus. We have Gladiator Hero playing Gaia. And on the top side we have Snow playing Poseidon. So Gaia being nice and giving the Poseidon Gaia first. It's always nice to see. And I think this will be a pretty straightforward game where we have Poseidon against Poseidon, probably raiding each other and whatnot. And on the bottom we'll have Susano versus Uranus, will probably be raiding and all that stuff. And the pockets will likely boom the Gaia and the Isis players. So we'll see who does that the best. So far, nothing special really. It's a map with lureable hunt, so that's good. The Poseidon players are saving their lure for the classical age. So yeah, what's there to say? I can't check the relics, but there's so many of them. I'm curious though if Crackhead made an additional Miko or not. He did. He has 2 Miko, and he is building the temple with 2 commoners. I wonder if that became standard and why, because it makes sense to use your Miko to build these things, right? But a lot of people are building them with commoners now. Maybe he favors the additional favor over the gathering time, that he doesn't need the gathering time for the age up. I'm not sure. In any case, we see Jack90 already aging up through Oceanus. We see Snow aging up through Hermes, no surprise there. DoD SGO is also aging up through Hermes. And now Crackhack is aging up through Inario Kami. So no surprises there, all going to raid bit, although DoD being slightly slower than their opponents. We'll see if they can pay that off. An additional Kitsune being purchased, so maybe he will get another Kitsune, so he'll probably do the Kitsune raiding thing with the Inario Kami upgrades. Prosperity being used, so this would indicate a second town center from GrB. And over here we see a counter barracks and a barracks, so not going just with Armillo, but also adding Therma. 9 waves, crushing waves already being purchased. Oh yeah, the shenanigans are definitely happening. Already a Kitsune coming in, putting some early pressure, but there's the first Momillo already being heroized. And on the other side we see the Centaur and the Atalanta being welcomed by the other heroes on the other side, so I don't think this will go very far in terms of dealing damage. 2 stables up on one side and 2 stables up on the other side, so stock standard play. No town centers yet so far on the pockets. Gaia play aged up through Oceanus as well, and GrB just aged up through Bast. 9-tailed Wisdom of 9 coming in. First lure, I wonder why STO hasn't used this lure yet. Maybe he's using that for the additional chickens in the heroic age, or maybe just to... Oh, he wants to save it to use it as a spot. Yeah, he used it here over on his chickens. He could have used it here, to be honest, but I think he prefers to stay at home against all this aggression. But so far this skirmish isn't really going anything. He might lose his center. Oh, he managed to save it. That's really strange. He should have just dove in and killed it, but... Second town center almost up for Kyber. And for Gladiator Hero. So far everyone is playing exactly like predicted. Aggressive on the sides and boomy on the center. We'll see how things pan out there. Carnivora now used. And it managed to kill a unit. I missed which one. So now some counter pressure by Jack 90 on the Crack Hack. But Unamusha is here to take care of the Carnivora. I think the problem is there's are two Hero Murmillos, so these this Jorogumo is of no use until it grabs this Murmillo. Second Carnivora now being used to harass these villagers, but it really doesn't deal that much damage. He could have just kept gathering gold and used this Miko to heal. I think this is a bigger problem over here. Are there any Kitsune close by? Sky Passage here to steal the hunt. Temple now down. Not the biggest of issues, but he does really need some units here to defend. So the Kusanagi being used. Yeah, it's always a bit underwhelming. The amount of damage it deals. But, well, raid happening now. Sphinx being killed. So far, good pressure. Ceasefire now being forced. Yeah, I think, yeah, probably not wasted. Although it was the blue player that used ceasefire. I wonder why. Was it because of this army? Am I missing something? Has a lot of low villagers here and blood, so I think that SEO did a very successful raid here and managed to force the defensive ceasefire, or I'm completely missing all the action. But that really helped Crack Hack here to get some bushy out, to deal with the Carnivoras. And now he's basically back in the game. Got his towers up. So now he'll be better equipped to deal with this aggression. But he is sending his Kitsune forward again. I wonder, did he spot the... He probably won't spot this Sky Passage. LFX is ahead in terms of villagers though. 10 villagers, so that's not nothing. But... And does he have the Ivory net scale upgrade? I don't think it will show on the mid units when selected, but that really helps in terms of getting some additional gold. And so far, yeah, there has been a little bit of aggression, but I think this counter raid really forced Snow to hold some villagers or hold some military units back to defend. So now it's once again the DoD clan doing the aggression. He's very aggressive though, Jack 90, with the Sky Passages. He's really stealing the enemy hunt right from under his nose. But yeah, you're Uranus, you can just jump in the Sky Passages and go away. So that's well played by him, clever. Skirmish at the center. Don't think he really wants to engage here. So that's the big difference. LFX is fighting with all three players. The Gaia player has made a second town center, but is now making Murmillo and Terma to help. And Kyber is going heroic through Sobek. So he will join the fray soon. So far he has made a few Sphinx, I think. Ceasefire now being used by SEO. Probably to save some villagers or because he can deal with this army. But Sobek now in, so I expect a Migdal stronghold somewhere soon. There we have it. And he will he will start spamming candles, I'd imagine. Meanwhile, Jack is once again pushing the main base of Crack Hack. And Crackhack is not at home. He sent his army north to help defend, so he's a bit out of position. But he does still have the swampland, so it's good to hold on to that. And he's still running out with this. It's interesting. Crackhack is checking the rear of Jack 90 when Jack 90 is on the side of Crackhack. So he's cleverly playing around the raids. But now a big attack by Snow on SCO. And the defensive locust being forced. Dealt some damage, but probably not enough. But now the camels are coming in, so if they can just buy a bit more time, there should be in a pretty good position. Meanwhile, Jack is also moving north. Probably in response to this army of Crackhack attacking in the center as well. And still raiding at the center, but he is losing one Kitsune and a Naginata rider. And probably losing this Kitsune as well, so the raiding days of these Kitsune are done. But now the army of Snow is being pushed back. So I wonder how they will continue. Will they just push, or will everybody now grab town centers and boom? I do like the defensive walling of Crackhack though, these really help. Kusanagi being used on this army here. I'm not a big fan, but oh well. Pincer moved by SEO on Snow. He's losing a lot of hippies in this in the process. And well, Gladiator Hero can join, but I don't think he'll be of much help. His army isn't that big. Meanwhile, Jack 90 is pushing. Some damage here. Yeah, he doesn't want to commit into the main base, especially now Crackhack, you know, he has towers up. And he is poking around, but I think he's searching for the gold mines. SEO meanwhile not willing to commit to the main base. So, ooh, big fight, you don't want to engage in this fight. I wonder where is Kaiba's army gone, because I see a few camels, but he had a bunch more. Yeah, he sent them home to help defend against Jack 90, but camels against these Murmillo are not the best idea. So it's really a balancing act, but I like how SEO keeps putting pressure, so he could have just retreated home, but then you know that all this army will go to south as well, so it appears to be a bit of a... Yeah, and I like how Gladiator Hero stayed on top instead of Snow, because this army is suited against this army. And oh well, bunch of units being picked off. Swampland and Shockwave being used over here. Chaos now used by Jack 90. So big engagement. But yeah, the Hippies are once again being pushed back by the camels. And it appears that most of Jack 9's army has been cleaned up by these samurai. And, well, with the help of GrB's army. So, Snow once again moving to the top. He did manage to get these villages off guard, so hopefully he'll be able to retreat. But oh, big pincer move by DoD. Snow is at risk of losing all his hippies if he isn't careful. Meanwhile, Jack 90 is nicely grabbing town centers on the back of this. He knows that he got his opponent on the ropes. So, grabbing 2 town centers. Aiming for the late game. Crackhack also has a Raijin pre-queued. Crackhack now aging up to Raijin, and both Snow and Gladiator aged up to the Heroic Age to Dionysus and Thea. So LFX is ahead in terms of tech, but behind in terms of army size. And economy, that surprises me. Although they're ahead in terms of economy. Purple is a bit confusing here. So I like how SGO and Kyber are playing together, but kind of feel that they need to get something done right now. The time is not in their favor, because I don't think Crackhack will... Yeah, you're right. Active plays will be ahead of villagers, that's right. But still... DoD is ahead in terms of army size, and they need to make hay when the sun shines, because I feel that Crackhack will he'll beat he won't be able to defend against Jack 90 if Jack 90 gets all the time in the world and boom with 4 town centers. SEO is hurt eco. He is, but I'm not sure how far behind he is actually. But he needs to stop taking attacks like this. Because these are still medium Hippias, and I imagine that there's heavy Hippias is now in. Yeah, I can check. Let's see how many. 43 villagers against 51. So SEO is actually ahead in terms of villagers. So that's a surprise. Once again, Camel Raiders to the rescue, and now there are some Chariot Archers to deal with their Murmillo. So as long as Kyber can help on the north side, he should be fine, but I think he really needs to make a decision on helping attack on the north side or helping defend on the south side. Because right now he's mostly running around and he's kind of losing the momentum he had by the Heroic Age, now that the opponents are also in the Heroic Age. But Dionysus is now also coming in for SEO. And we even see Jack Gladiator Hero going to the Mythic Age through Atlas. Chaos being used on these camels. So yeah, they are really out of position. Defensive Kusanagi to help them out, so that's nice. But he is losing a lot of camels in the process. Little raid coming in by Snow. On the other side, SEO is trying to raid as well, but Snow did a good job defending his side of the map. So I wonder what the plan here is now. Are they gonna push it to center? Crackhack really doesn't have much of an army. I think he lost the most units and villagers in the early game. Although these samurai are always, they're basically 2 hoplites. Thunderdome coming in, the Thunder Burst, God Power. They're already on the edge, it's not doing too much. I think he should have waited a little bit longer to use that, but they'll just go back in once they are back. And now they have an implode on the back of it. It appears that Snow also moving to the center, really wanting, and a bunch of idle villagers here for SEO. They really want to concentrate here. Crackhack does have heavy units, so I imagine he made a bunch of Bushido in the process. Nice defensive position here. Second Swamplet, but Implode now being used on the back. Snow walking right through the swampland. I'm not sure why, because this your ally implodes, so he should have just stayed around. So, max value swampland here. Take a look at the army. Yeah, very big implode. That was actually huge. I keep hearing units die over this swampland. That was the most valuable swampland I've ever seen. Meanwhile here, SGO still pushing. Kusanagi being used. Take a quick look at the favor count of Crackhack. Might be able to do another Swampland in the near future, or another Thunderburst, but not that much. And Snow is aging up through Artemis, so you probably push with Earthquake. Then again, Kyber is Isis, so he probably should put he should have put a monument up to help against the god powers. Kyber is now in the Mythic Age to Osiris, so that's good. And it appears the DoD clan is now pushing with Bronze on the south side. But that's a good defensive position for Jack 90. So far they've been very good at you know, walling and making sure they're not raidable. Meanwhile on the top side, as Snow is continuing to raid. And you know, these many Hippias can really wreak havoc. If they get into this position, they can kill all the villagers. Anyway, Chaos being used by Jack. And DoD once again on the run. No Thunderburst by Crackhack. They are running from it, but maybe not strictly necessary. And Kyber once again claiming this town center. Might get Earthquake really, but no, he is using it on SGO's base. And he is losing everything. Oh my god, that dealt much damage. He has no masons, I'd imagine. No, so that's really rough. I think he'll just go for a straight push. He should be in a good position, but I think the entire large amount of Hippias that were running around got taken care of off camera. So I'm not sure why he used Earthquake here really, because now SGO has a bunch of militia and still sizable army, so he'll just rebuild. He's losing the momentum of this downtown center and all that stuff. Who is building forward? Titan Gate now being placed by Gladiator Hero. And someone aged up. No, but Jack 90 is aging up through Helios. So let's take a quick look where the Titan Gate is, over here. And he placed a very old school Hesperides tree right next to it. Used to protect against god powers, but no longer does. So big fight over here. Of course these militia have very few upgrades. Bronze now being used by Snow. I'm not sure if you want to take this fight actually as SGO. You should at least retreat under town center fire. Now doing so, but it's a bit late. Does he have access to a second ceasefire? No. Oh, maybe he should have just put all villagers on the temple and tried to squeeze out that second ceasefire. Kusanagi being used on the south and Carnivora. So back and forth. Kyber is really pushing, but they are trying to snipe the Son of Osiris. And And Snow has really won this fight. I think that was a very well timed push. Second bronze. And he's a bunch ahead though. Let's check how many. 23. Oh, those are prodromos. I need to... Oh, and there's the first GG. And yeah, well played by LFX. Welcome everybody to game 2 of LFX against DoD B. Score is 1-0 for LFX. And let's start on the bottom. We have SEO playing Tsukiyomi. At the center we have Lizard playing Freyr. And on the top we have Crackhack playing Thor. On the other side we have Snow once again playing Poseidon. We have Jack 90 playing Hades in the pocket. And we have Gladiator Hero playing Loki on the left flank. So Loki against Tsukiyomi and Poseidon against Thor. And on the pocket once again a bit of, well not, yeah, a bit boomy gods, Freyr and Hades. And we'll see what the game brings. I expect a bunch of booming, to be honest, because it is Alfheim. But maybe they got brought the strategies. Pretty early temple by Gladiator Hero. I wonder if he's doing Soup's build, where you get a temple out really fast and a Hershey out really fast, and you grab a bunch of relics. So you can get Safeguard and Rixtula and go for a crazy boom through Heimdall. And I think Snow would just do Poseidon things. Although it would be wise for him to do a boom, second town center boom as well. He is against Thor, so he probably won't be able to stop a second town center for coming up, even if we tried. Crackhack doing his signature Thor build with only God Dwarves and the starting dwarves, of course. Should get the copper weapon soon. Spy being used. Let's take a quick look at where he's using it. Over here on the Kitsune. Makes sense. Probably wants to avoid being raided by them later. And he might do some scouting for him. Not sure why he's following the Hershey though. Maybe he's worried about a fort build. If you see a Hershey out so fast at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you might think they are going to do a rush or something. But I think in this case, he's just going to grab some relics. I think, in fact, the spied Kitsune scouted this relic for him. So yeah, I think it will be Heimdall, Safeguard, and all that stuff. Temple going up for SGO and for Lizard. And for Crackhack. We're not doing the most greedy version. Yeah, on the other side, stock standard, Vault of Erebus build, and Poseidon doing Poseidon things. Crackhack aging up to Forsetti. Interesting. So he's not doing... Yeah, it makes sense on this map, actually. If you're not going to want to do the raiding war. Lizard not yet aging up, and SEO aging up through Inari Okami. No surprise there. Snow almost aged up. I'm betting through Hermes, but let's see. Yeah, Hermes. And Jack 90 aging up through Athena. So no surprise there. Lizard now aging up through Freya. That is interesting. I would not expect Freya, I would expect Uller here, but maybe he has a plan for Freya. We'll have to see. And there we have it. Now a bit of a late advance for Gladiator Hero, but he is aging up to Heimdall. So Did he really try to steal a relic right off his opponent's nose? Yeah, this Hershey is gonna die. That's a bit, yeah, that was a bit foolish. To think that he would get away with this. So yeah, this Hershey will die. How many relics does he have? 2. So I'd imagine he'll go for a safeguard into second town center. Second town center already being picked by Jack 90. He opted to go for the forward one, which is a bit ballsy. But yeah, I think he'll get away with it this time. Another Hershey fighting myth units. He is not. Yeah, now he aged up. So and excellent timing by SEO. He runs away the moment he sees the he sees that his opponent aged up. No second town centers by DoD yet. Rixtula pre-queued. Would expect safeguard first. Well. SEO doing a good job microing, making sure the Hershey attacks the Naginata rider rather than the Kitsune. Did he get... No, he just got 9-tailed. Wisdom of 9. So, Poseidon player with a bit of Hershey. Oh, the Centaur got picked off. He'll probably die. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Great build by Crackhack. And he's not completely walled in. So he managed to prevent most of the Atalanta aggression, which usually happens when you play Thor against Poseidon. And I wonder, is Snow going to follow this up by a second town center? Probably, looking at his economic distribution and the lack of units in queue. I think a second town center is in the works for him. And Lizard is now also grabbing a second town center, a backward town center. And Jack 90 very greedy, he already got his third town center, so he's going full boom. Lizard is raiding with Valkyrie. Did he scout this? Let's take a look. He did not. He scouted the forward town center, but not the backward town center. So let's hope he does. Maybe that's why he wanted to age up to Freya, so for the scouting information, who knows. He's being harassed though by these hippies. Probably, yeah, should have walled the front, but oh well. And it's annoying, because these hippies could really hurt this town center as well, but Crackhack's helping to come defend. Crackhack's now also taking his backward town center, and SEO is actually taking his forward town center. It's a bit ballsy. His army is attacking Snow's army, so out of position. But maybe he knows that Gladiator is now taking his second town center. Also forward. As is Snow, so bit odd actually. A lot of players opted to do something, but in the end they're all TC booming. And Jack 90 is far ahead because he started TC booming right off the get-go. Making some buildings. We'll see what will happen. I think on the left we'll see very big spikes with probably flaming weapons, and on the other side New Moon. Ceasefire now used. Just for these 2 Valks, that's a bit premature. Yeah, you managed probably to save this one villager, but knowing that Achilles was on the way, maybe they didn't communicate that, but that's a good job by DoD, forcing a defensive ceasefire. Meanwhile, Lizard is now creeping forward, building walls, building longhouses, and taking his forward town center. And a double perimeter is being established on the left side. So nobody is aging up yet. Forest fire now being used to help keep these Valkyrie alive against this Atalanta. I don't think any... You see some blood, so maybe he managed to kill a few villagers with these Valkyrie. I'm not sure if that was the best use. Especially when you can use it on Well, this wouldn't be the best example, but you can use it on a forest to help you get in. Over here, for example, if you have these walls, you can just burn this forest and move in. Heck, now moving forward with his units. 30C done by Lizard. And now Aegir being pre-queued. Let's see if he's close. He is. He probably needs to finish his armory. Hi there, Darknox. And 30C up by Gladiator Hero. Did he get Safeguard? He did. So Crackhack is already aging up to Skadi. I liked it. And walling his opponent in. I think Snow might be in trouble if he gives Crackhack too much time. Like, I'm not really. I think he's just. I think he's a Poseidon main. Otherwise, he wouldn't have stayed on Poseidon on this map. I think. But so that's good. Although it is their home map, right? I think. No, it's DoD's home map. So maybe they counterpick this. Now Jack 90 is pushing out. And we see all the DoDs aging up. Pretty much everyone. No aging up through Aphrodite. We have Gladiator Hero aging up through Baraki. We have Lizard aging up through Aegir. And we have SEO aging up through Hachiman. All not surprising, although Aphrodite... Aphrodite and Dionysus are both good, actually. So, on this side, people are still respecting the border. Gladiator making the little double sensor walls. Hate when I have to use a VPN to watch more than 720p when you don't have 1080. Is that a thing? I'm streaming at 1440, I believe. But it is complaining about bitrate, so maybe I should lower my bitrate a bit. Or maybe I should put this on pause. Helps. New Moon being used on the armory, getting his... and I like how he queued Golden Kite already. So, stock standard play. Now has iron arm or bronze armory, so he really needs to start pushing now. Maybe he can jump over this wall by this Tengu. The other side, Jack 90 is pushing forward, making his fortress. Probably wants to claim this town center. So let's see who booms the hardest. That was Jack 90 aging up, by the way, to Apollo. No surprises there. I think he'll prefer to just go straight forward, and then if things turn out to go stale, he'll use Underworld and yeah, attack the enemy economy. But yeah, so far SEO isn't. It's not really doing anything in terms of pressure. Frost now being used, defensive frost, to prevent this fortress from coming up. I don't mind this frost actually, but it might be in trouble later. And Gladiator is really playing defensive games. 2 fortresses making towers, so really just wants to hold here. But it appears that SEO will move towards the center. 2 Pegasi here floating around, probably for the inevitable underworld. And now Lizard is also moving towards the north. So it appears to be a 2 versus 2 on this side and a 1v1 on this side, although there's not much happening. Maybe SGO wants to go straight for the Mythic Age and go for the Dragon Typhoon. Restoration now being used. Swampland being used. So DoD pushing their opponents back. Also, big perimeter over here. Both players really don't want their allies or enemies to go through, but curse now are being used as well. So all god powers in one spot. And DoD now returning, because you are fighting against a huge archer ball in a chokehold, and there are 2 Norse, so that's really, yeah, that makes the choice of double Norse on this map a bit curious. Maybe they have a plan. So far no fighting, although it appears that Gladiator Hero is now pushing. Thanks for the raid, Wolfor. So back and forth, back and forth. This healing spring is actually doing a lot of work. They really are to hold this position, otherwise they'll donate it to the enemy. And on the other side, SGO is hesitant to commit. I think he really wants to go to the Mythic Age and use his Dragon Typhoon or second New Moon. Although he's already aging up to Watatsumi, so Dragon Typhoon it is. So, but first Fimbulwinter by Gladiator Hero. It's fortunate for him that they spawned right next to him. Underworld now being used. Where is he going? Over here in the back of the 2 town centers. So that's a big big achievement, and they did manage to capture this spot. So Gulen Bursty now being used, and Tempest to help deal with this. But there's 2 armies, so that's really unfortunate. Gulen Bursty already got taken care of. And now the DoD guys need to go all the way back and help defend their economy. And they lost this position at the front. So things aren't looking too great for our DoD fellows. Fortunately, they're just a bunch of archers. So the town center can stay alive for a while. Meanwhile, over here, Ballista are now pushing the town center. And Gladiator is really maxing out the safeguard play by making a bunch of walls and towers and avoiding direct confrontation. Meanwhile, Lizard is now coming in. Dragon Typhoon, where will he use it? Over here. I'm not sure if that's the best use, it's because all he's really doing is dealing damage to walls and a few buildings. He missed the enemy army, and they could have really used the Dragon Typhoon here, although they would have just gone back through the Underworld Passage. And Lizard needs to join with Crackhack in dealing with this army, because otherwise they're in a very bad position. If this fortress gets up, he'll still has sentinels to use, and then it will be a very hard fight for them. But it appears they are doing very well still. Double Greek versus double Norse. They got a bunch of Hypaspist in, they got heavy Peltast, so it's a very hard composition to deal with as Norse. So things aren't looking too well. You see a few raids here by the Naginata Riders and a side build. So I did notice them, but had no time to talk about them, so I'm talking about them now. But they're probably not doing that much work as of yet. Also, trade route already being started by LFX. Zom now coming in on this fortress, also grabbing his backward town center. So yeah, Jack is really living the life. Second Tempest being used. On what really? A few units, not the best usage. Yeah, you're right, Dark Nox. The Dragon Typhoon was a bust. Was wasted. So the trouble is now coming up, and I imagine he'll start sieging this town center soon. Yeah, I'm not too sure what the thought process behind the god picks was. Crackhack is a very good Greek player, so I would have liked to see him play Greek or Hades or something on this map. I'm not sure what the thought process was. And it appears that SEO is also losing against Gladiator Hero on the left side. He's the typical Loki late game of Ballista, and units is doing working pretty well. And there's now cleaning up these buildings. So I'm not sure what. Yeah, I kind of missed how he lost his army, but because this army of Gladiator doesn't appear to be that big, just a bunch of Huskarl and Ballista. So if he gets his riders in, he should be able to deal with it. But you know, at the center, they are also cleaning up this fortress. I think, yeah, maybe not even bother on this side. That's nice for Crackhack that he gets to gather all these resources. But yeah, they're really losing over here, and Lizard is their pocket player, so it's basically the backbone of their economy. So now Earthquake, number 1 being used. Let's take a look where Crackhack's main base. Does he have Masons? He does not, so he lost almost everything. And second Earthquake now used. I am not sure where. At the main base of SEO. So he stands to lose almost everything as well. Interesting. Flaming weapons now being used by Gladiator Hero to repel this army. But he's really playing the Norse way. The way you should play Norse on this map. Just walling and building and using defensive choke points. So it looks oblique on all 3 sides. Don't think DoD will be able to come back from this. It's interesting to see that both the LFX players went up to Artemis, but I guess their economies is so big that it doesn't really matter anymore. There's another Frost being used defensively, but what are you gonna do? They stole 2 backward town centers. And the first resigned by SEO. And GG, well played by LFX. Welcome everybody between game 3 of LFX against DoD B. We're gonna start over here with Kyber playing Odin. On the right side, in the center we have Made playing Loki, and on the left side we have Lizard playing Freyr. So triple Norse from DoD. Let's see how it plays out for them. On the other side we have LFX Gladiator Hero playing Hades. We have Kaioku, one, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, playing Nuba. And on the right side we have Jack 90 playing Uranus. Hi there, Apai. So, instant clay peasants being used for a forward dock. I don't mind this player actually, because that allows your teammates to grab all the fish right in front of them. And I imagine he's going to do a second dock over here with his second clay peasant. Basically doing my build order. If you want to check that out, go with check out the DoD website. But it is being scouted though by Kyber. At least I think. Let's take a look. He did not scout it. Almost sent this boat back. And I am not sure why DoD isn't doing it. With Norse it should be pretty easy to just move your Ulsark with the boat and make a dock here and here and here. and then you can have your other players grab this fish here. But I think this is actually Kyber's dock, so they are at least helping each other out. I think I'm not sure. Is it Mada just not fishing? It's really odd. That's really odd. Let's take a look. He has none on wood, so he's going for a crazy fast age up. Is he going to do a rush? He made his temple all the way at the front, so I think he is. But are they going to spot this? That's the question. The lantern is very close, but nope, apparently not. Lake Pencil's now dead. I do like this player, to be honest. So it appears they go for a very aggressive opening on the center with Lizard, or with Made. And maybe they'll sling him, they'll feed him or something. But I do see Lizard on the main base as well. I'm guessing DoD's strategy is to just claim the main island as soon as possible. Meanwhile, and Made is already aging up pretty early through Heimdall. So they did have a strategy prepared, so that's nice to see. Lizard also making his temple on the main base. And I do see Berserk from Kyber, though I'm not sure where he's going. He's being scouted though. Meanwhile, on the other side, nothing yet. I don't see any temples. Oh, there is a temple being made by Nua and one by Jack 90. And oh, there's a temple on the main base. Interesting. He actually, yeah, he moved his villagers on the main base for the temple. And he's now praying, I don't mind this. At least that's nice for the Greeks. If you're going to make the temple, you already have a place for your villagers to go to. So let's see what he's doing with this early classical age hearse here. I'm guessing he's scouting. Or he is grabbing relics. And Jack 90, no, Gladiator here almost aging up through Athena. Jack 90 aging up through Prometheus. Lizard aging up through Uller. Darknox is pretty confident that they should have picked this at a home map, but I'm not sure what the strategy is. I'm completely ignorant here, so let's see. I like this dock though by Kyber. He did make his temple quite far back, and so far I've cost quite a few games. And Undermine now being used to prevent these buildings from coming up. So the strategy really was to get a hold of the center of the map, the center island, and keep it and prevent the enemy from building a presence there. And so far they're doing pretty well. But what I was saying is that often I see players make bases on separate parts of the isle, and they'll get picked off one by one. So you should try to stick close together, really, as a team. But yeah, DoD now firmly in control of the center part of the map. I wonder how LFX is going to respond to this. Are they going to do something cheesy? Appears that Jack is just building up at home. And that's really what you want to do, because all these buildings will be useless. It's going to be very annoying. At least not for him. He will need to get a sky passage somewhere here. Dock now being taken care of. So double Heimdall for DoD and Uller. I'm guessing another Undermine for in case they spot anything. And I think they're just desperately searching for enemy presence. This archer ship though will prevent these docks from coming up. But these docks aren't the main concern of DoD. They just want to prevent anything from happening. But military academy and an archery range has been spotted. So I can imagine they want to take care of this as soon as possible. basically want to swarm it, and you really want to have these ravens on patrol over the shoreline to spot everything. But now there are 2 Quaofu grabbing this town center, and it's not spotted yet by DoD. Just like I mentioned, just put them on patrol and they would have spotted this eventually, but I think they'll now be too late to prevent this from happening. And he can use the earthen wall to establish a defensive perimeter. Maybe he could have done it on his allied temple, to be honest, but he was a bit caught by surprise. Well, there are archer ships over here. I'm not sure if that's the best idea, although he does have a bunch of fishing ships to defend, so it might be worth it. And now Jack 90 is coming to the main base to establish a presence. Really wants to get the sky passage up. And like I said, earthen wall being used, which is immediately getting undermined and destroyed. So yeah, well played. But I think this is a misplay. Mada really shouldn't attack this town center, and they should all defend this town center, because the sky passage is going to be very annoying. But I hear that Kyber took a second town center. Yeah, I think, and he's going to take a third. I'm pretty sure he got the safeguard. Yeah, he did. So it's taking town centers and booming. I suppose that's safer than trying to prevent the enemy from getting on the main map at all. Still, I think they're giving it away a bit. But if they can pull off this Rixtula boom with multiple town centers there, it should be in a good position the longer the game goes on. And a lizard is already aging up to the heroic age. To Aegir. Mada also now taking a second town center. This Guardian Hill Fort, I'm not sure if I like this position, because it can be taken down with siege ships. So our new war player, Kayuko, is aging up to Gulmang. He's claiming this position. He'll make a bunch of Baole and then go for White House Cavalry. Jack 90 claiming a town center and pushing forward. And that's what I mentioned. DoD is really spread all over the map. That Kyber will now, yeah, he's at risk of playing 2 versus 1 should LFX change course. So I would have liked that at least Mada here would switch positions and help here, because I don't think Kyber can hold this on his own. So now Goming is in. Paole being put up right at the start, and this cracker is doing some damage. And like I said, siege ships on the Asgardian Hill Fort, that's why I don't like this position. Why not just put it somewhere here? I'm not sure what the notification was for. So, Sentinels being used over here to defend against the incoming push from Lizard. Lizard is on the left side, so it makes sense that he plays the left side. Also now defensive force protection. Don't end the Terracotta Riders being used. On the right side there's a fight going on. They really want to coordinate. Kyber and Mada should be attacking together, then they can pincer this army and should be able to deal with it. On the left side, well, the town center is down, but Kayuko was smart enough to use it force protection on the machine workshop rather than the town center, so the force protection is still up. He's now using a Tempest to defend. And Restoration being used on the right side to help against the 2 versus 1. And I think this will clear up Jack 90's army. So it's still anyone's game. FLX was ahead in score, but now it's more or less equalized. A few boats here wrecking havoc. Oh, you really don't want to cross the pond now with these boats here. If he's at risk of losing them all. Meanwhile, on the left front, things have quieted down. And on the right, DoD is pushing. He's just casually moving his villagers around between this fire. Several Krakens. It would be really nice if you could send them over here to help defend. But yeah, Lizard happily playing for the long game. I think he's grabbing another town center. He's not in a rush. And over here, so it's once again a 1v1 on the left side and a 2 versus 2 on the right side. It's very close actually. First time I've seen it on a game on this map that it hasn't been a curb stomp from one team or another. So LFX now once again pushing back. But Skadi in for Kyber. Anybody else aging up? Yes. Gladiator Hero is aging up through Apollo, no surprises there. That's really their ace. If they can grab a hold of this position, they can use an underworld on the enemy main base and take care of their town centers. The Krakens here help defend, so you'll need a dock. So DoD being pushed on the right side. I'm not sure what's going on. Well, they are here, all three here, so Lizard needs to switch. So I guess that's why they're not attacking. They're just waiting for Lizard to join up, and then they can push together, all three of them. But that's it for it, because they can, if they can just wall this, and they can start pushing with a few of those double crossbows over here. Lizard aging up to Vidar. Arbor aging up to Tyr. And Jack 90 aging up to Thea. I'm surprised no Hyperion, because all the enemy players have Thorny Axeman. Big naval warfare over there. Thanks for the raid, Blackadder. Undermine being used. I am over here. Push on the town center, but I'm not sure if you really want to do that. I think he just... I think Undermine was on the Sky Passage, and all these Sky Ballista just jumped out of the Sky Passage and took care of all these Berserk. LFX attack is being repelled now. Pushed out a bit too far. So game really turned into a stalemate. While they were DoD had a firm hold of the center aisle at the start, they basically 2/3, 1/3 round. At this point, you may also want to consider slinging for Mada to, but Mada is aging up now through Bragi. And there we have it, first Fimbulwinter. Tech 90 really abusing these Caraballista inside Sky Passages. That's pretty nice. But Lizard now pushing. And Made going for the pincer move. If they can use Inferno to take care of this army, that would be so huge. I think it would be worthwhile to use it actually. Cool and Bursty now being used, that's also great. It's a Mythic 8 Cool and Bursty, so that thing is no joke. Taking care of a bunch of Caraballista. And now Jack 90 is going to lose these Hespideris trees. So let's see how they will continue. Cool and Bursty still around, dealing a bunch of damage. Is that a village center by Gladiator Hero? It is, and he's now using Sentinels on top of it. Interesting. Meanwhile, there's been a pretty big naval battle at the south. And Inferno being used. And this will be a huge amount of damage. That was really S-tier usage of Inferno. Another Undermine being used to take care of this Baule. So DoD once again pushing on the right side. And on the south side. So Jack 90 now making Contarius rather than Caraballista. And he is managing to hold the line a bit, but over here Lizard is pushing with a bunch of portable ramps. I would have liked for him to have the upgrade for Freyr has, but he has so many. So now he's happily pushing into the main base and cleaning up all the buildings by Koyoku. And DoD now almost has doubled the score. Another Asgardian Bastion. And there we have it. 3 resigns. And GG, well played by DoD. Very well executed.